Hey everyone, this is Michael again, and welcome to my review of tonight's edition of Smackdown. Also going to review the mixed match challenge match after I talk about Smackdown. And tonight's Smackdown was held from the PPG Paints Arena in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And I gotta say, tonight's Smackdown, I thought it was a decent show. It was much better than last night's shitty Raw. Last night's Raw was just a piece of shit show. It was like a repeat of what happened last week on Raw. But SmackDown, like I said, it was a decent show, while it wasn't perfect or great by any means. But the show opened up tonight with a video package showing, Daniel Bryan, coming back and saying that he's cleared to compete in the ring. Also shows, him firing Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, and then the brutal attack by Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn to Daniel Bryan. So it was just a video package of what happened last week. And then after the video package was done, we moved on to the first match tonight. It was Randy Orton and Bobby Roode versus Jinder Mahal and Rusev. It was originally supposed to be Jinder Mahal tag teaming with Sunil Sin, but Sunil was too injured to compete because Sunil got attacked last week, and so Sunil Sin's replacement was Rusev. And the match itself, it was decent. It was back and forth between them. Randy Orton and Bobby Roode, they were decent in the match. But in the end, it was Orton and Bobby Roode, bickering back and forth. And Rusev gave Rusev and Jinder Mahal, the win. Thanks to Rusev, because Rusev hit a Machka kick to Randy Orton to score the win. So Rusev and Jinder Mahal win the match. So all in all, it was a decent match. And when SmackDown came back from commercial, we saw Jinder Mahal celebrating backstage on the win. He ends up thanking Rusev for being his partner. Jinder says to Rusev that he wants him to come to WrestleMania, and he's going to give Rusev front row tickets. Rusev said he's going to find Daniel Bryan, and he's going to turn the triple threat match into a fatal four-way for the United States title, which does get confirmed. So now it's going to be a fatal four-way for the United States title at WrestleMania. It's going to be Rusev and Jinder Mahal versus Randy Orton versus Bobby. Well, Rusev versus Jinder Mahal versus Randy Orton versus Bobby Roode. So there you go, fatal four-way for the U.S. title at WrestleMania. So, but if somebody in the comments on said if Rusev actually ends up winning the U.S. title at WrestleMania, the crowd is going to go really insane, because the crowd is behind Rusev with the whole Rusev Day, and really liking the whole Rusev Day gimmick, which is really entertaining. The crowd is behind Rusev. So then after we had that backstage segment, we saw AJ Styles in the locker room backstage. Shinsuke Nakamura comes and says to Styles that he didn't need his help last week. He ends up saying that he wants Styles, Styles' best at WrestleMania, and Nakamura wants his best at WrestleMania. And he asks Styles, to be in his corner tonight in his match with Shelton Benjamin. So, but it was a decent backstage segment with Styles and Nakamura. Then we had a women's match, Becky Lynch versus Ruby Riott. And match itself, it was decent. It was entertaining because of Becky Lynch. I think Becky deserves a push again because she deserves a lot better than what she's given, what WWE was giving her. And there was at points where Liv Morgan and Sarah Logan were interfering. But Becky ended up, not being, interfered by Liv Morgan and Sarah Logan. But Becky ended up winning the match with the roll up to Ruby Riott to score the win. So then you had after the match, Becky ends up taking out Sarah Logan and Liv Morgan. Because they come in the ring, they both come in the ring and start to beat up on Becky. Becky ends up taking the both of them out. So, but overall, it was a decent match between Becky and Ruby. Becky made it very entertaining, and the crowd was behind Becky. So, then we had Daniel Bryan coming out. Saying that he loves being in Pittsburgh. The Pittsburgh crowd, really cheered for it. Really cheered for that. Really cheered loudly for Daniel Bryan. And, he says last week was the greatest moment of his career. That, with the big news saying that, that he was cleared to get in the ring again. And, doing what he loves to do for, 16 years. And he says Daniel says he's going to give Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn one more opportunity. And he makes a match for WrestleMania, saying that it's going to be Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn versus him and Shane McMahon. And, the stipulation is if, him and Shane win, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn are still fired. And if him and Shane lose, then Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn will be reinstated back on SmackDown. And he says he's given, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn opportunities because they are the two greatest performers in WWE. And he says, he fought for 3 years, to go back and compete and wrestle. And Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn tried to take that away from him. And, Daniel Bryan pretty much says, he will fight at WrestleMania. And, he goes in that, that hype mode. And he ends up saying that he's going to kick Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn's ass at WrestleMania, which was pretty funny for him to say. And there's been news about Shane, saying that he was rushed to a medical facility, and just gonna pull up the news, see if I can find it here. But he was being medically treated. He's being healed up because he was, I guess he went on vacation with his family, and he had a hernia, which he needs surgery for. Like, they gave him antibiotics, and I think he had diverticulitis. I think that's how you pronounce it. And they gave him antibiotics, and once the antibiotics does makes him feel better, then he's going to have surgery for that hernia. So if I was WWE, I wouldn't let Shane perform in this match, tag in with Daniel Bryan. Just make him make him just rest, from gets the surgery for you know, the hernia. So, but overall, I hope, you know, Shane feels better from that. You know, it has nothing to do with what happened last week. I mean, what happened 2 weeks ago when Shane got decimated from Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Has nothing to do with that. So, but yeah, the Daniel Bryan segment was really good. You know, Daniel Bryan's holding up SmackDown pretty good. Then we had the Bludgeon Brothers versus New Day. You know, Xavier Woods and Big E. Before the match, they come out saying, you know, that they are going to run through the Bludgeon Brothers and, you know, go back on their road to WrestleMania. The match starts, which match was, you know, pretty much nothing. It's just the Bludgeon Brothers just, you know, dominating on Big E and Xavier Woods. The match ended in a no contest because the Usos end up coming out and they attacked Harper and Rowan. Then the Usos come into the ring. They start bickering with the New Day. Then we just see both Harper and Rowan come in with their mallets. Both the Usos and New Day run out of the ring. Want nothing to do with the Bludgeon Brothers. So pretty much that was that. So match ended in no contest. So they made a match for WrestleMania. It's going to be New Day versus the Usos versus the Bludgeon Brothers. Just for the SmackDown Tag Team titles at WrestleMania. So this WrestleMania card is really stacked. Then we had a boring match. Dolph Ziggler versus Tyler Breeze. Yeah, pretty much a nothing match. You just have Fandango. One point in the match, Fandango running around the ring, which was pretty stupid. Dolph Ziggler ended up winning the match with the zigzag to Tyler Breeze to score the win. Then you had after the match, Dolph ended up taking out Fandango outside the ring. So pretty much nothing match. It was boring. Then we had the main event, which was Nakamura versus Shelton Benjamin. This was a decent match. AJ Styles was out there. Chad Gable. There was one point in the match where Chad Gable was trying to interfere, but Styles ended up taking down Gable. Nakamura was enjoyable in the match. He ended up winning it with the Kinshasa to Shelton Benjamin to score the win. Then you had after the match, Nakamura gets on the mic and thanks Styles for being in his corner. He ends up telling Styles that, you know, he never needed his help and that it was just, you know, him inviting Styles out to see, you know, who he's going to beat him at WrestleMania. Styles says, you know, when he walks into WrestleMania and defeats Nakamura, it will prove that, you know, that Styles, you know, will be the best. Nakamura says he will beat Styles at WrestleMania because Nakamura thinks Styles is too emotional. I don't get, you know, what that even means. But then we see Gable and Benjamin attack Nakamura. Nakamura ends up taking them both out. We see Nakamura, he ends up getting ready to hit the Kinshasa on Styles, but, you know, Nakamura ends up stopping, and Nakamura says to Styles, need to face, you know, what he's been saying. So that pretty much ends SmackDown. But overall, it was a decent main event between Nakamura and Shelton Benjamin. And now we move on to the mixed match challenge match. Originally it was supposed to be Bobby Roode and Charlotte versus Sasha Banks and Finn Balor, but Charlotte couldn't make it because she had like some sort of a dental thing, from what I read in an article. So she was replaced with Becky Lynch. So it was Bobby Roode and Becky Lynch versus Sasha Banks and Finn Balor. This was a decent match. This was very entertaining. Bobby Roode and Finn Balor going at it. There was at one point where Bobby Roode was, saying, glorious, and then he just had Finn Balor just do the too sweet on Bobby Roode's forehead, and then from there they it was decent between Roode and Finn Balor. Sasha and Becky were very enjoyable too. The match ended with Becky rolling up Sasha. So Bobby Roode and Becky Lynch win the match, and so next week Charlotte's gonna be back, and is gonna be tag teaming with Bobby Roode, be partnered with Bobby Roode. So there's two matches Becky won in one night tonight. She won the match earlier with Ruby Riott. Now she won the match tonight by rolling up Sasha. So then after the match, we had Kurt Angle come out, because SmackDown was in his hometown tonight, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and he says, the final mixed match challenge is next week, and so it's going to be Miz and Asuka versus Charlotte and Bobby Roode next week, and whoever wins next week, the charity is going to win $100,000, and so that came out of Kurt's mouth. So, and the crowd really went wild for Kurt Angle because Kurt's hometown. So glad that Kurt was here tonight in his hometown. That was pretty cool to see. So, but all in all, the match was decent. Bobby Roode and Becky Lynch versus Sasha and Finn Balor. So, yeah, so anyways, that's it for my review of tonight's edition of SmackDown. Also the Mixed Match Challenge review. Thank you all for watching, and be sure to give this video a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, and until the next video, I'll see you all later.